Today, Republican Senator Tom Tillis warned there would be serious political consequences if the economy isn't fixed by next February. He told CNN, quote, "Business people think long-term, make long-term investments. The American people think every 2 years, and they generally reward an administration and Congress that gets us on the right track."
Tillis was one of 7 Republicans who signed off on a bipartisan bill aimed at reining in presidential tariff authority. Joining us now, pollster and communications strategist Frank Luntz to talk a little bit about this. So, Frank, President Trump is delivering on his campaign promise to impose tariffs, perhaps over-delivering, as we talk to some of his supporters who are feeling this in a way that perhaps they didn't expect. How are voters seeing it?
Let's take a look, and I have to work backwards from Election Day, because Senator Tillis is onto something. It's not just what happens on Election Day, it's before that. The average voter makes up their mind who they're going to support around Labor Day. It's as though they have a lunch or a dinner with friends. They sit around the table, they talk about politics, economics, culture, and they make that decision. So Donald Trump definitely has time. There's a big but here, which is we've not seen a collapse in the market like this. We've not seen anything so clearly tied to a policy decision. The last time we saw anything like this was COVID, and that is clearly not what this is about. So in the end, are you more safe and secure today than you were 3 months ago? Do you believe the future is going to be better than the past? Are you going to have more money in your pocket tomorrow than you do today? All these questions which are being answered yes on Inauguration Day are being answered no right now. And so Donald Trump's numbers have suffered. And one last point. It's not Republicans because they back him no matter what he does. And it's not Democrats because they oppose him no matter what he does. We're looking at independents. And by better than 2-to-1, independents do not like this policy because they think that it is too much, too harsh, too fast, and that it's not being well received. That does not mean this takes down Donald Trump's agenda. It does mean that people are taking a pause and they're asking questions, is this helping America?
Patience also kind of plays into this, or at least the White House is hoping that it does, Frank. When the president urges Americans to be patient, he's saying, quote, "Don't be weak, don't be stupid." I mean, at some point, that patience must wear thin if the economy isn't trending in the right direction. How much patience do you think these voters will have?
So I need to ask you a question. Did he actually say, "Don't be stupid"? Was that his language, his rhetoric?
It was a quote from the president.
Then that is a very bad thing to say. Voters do not like being told that they're stupid. If the president said, "Don't rush, be patient, good things happen in the long term," the public would have said, "I'll accept that, I'll embrace that." You know I'm a language person. When he's saying "don't be stupid," there will be a lot of voters in the center that will regard that as a criticism, an undeserved criticism. Make no mistake, the language of tariffs, the public is still not made up their minds whether this is good or bad. They don't like the opening, but there's still time to recover if the language is proper. Number one, are we on a level playing field? Number two, does the American workforce get every opportunity that other workers get to sell their goods and sell their services? Number three, does it raise or lower the prices that the average American pays for the average items? And number four, and potentially most important, what does this mean for my bottom line, not just now, but 6 months, a year, and 2 years from now? If you were to ask those questions and answer them favorably, then these tariff policies would have public support. But the administration is doing a lousy job communicating this policy, and that's one of the reasons why the public has turned against it.
So, and Frank, look at what his advisors are doing, right? They're sending mixed messages about whether this is a negotiating tactic or whether this is the long haul. But then you have like Elon Musk calling Peter Navarro a moron, and the White House press secretary saying boys will be boys. I mean, I guess at least she acknowledged they're behaving like children. I guess we could say that if boys will be boys here. But what's the effect on people who are looking at the president's advisors saying all of these different and, insulting at times things?
The average individual doesn't see the difference. The average individual doesn't compare, excuse me, what the Secretary of the Treasury says versus the Secretary of Commerce, or does not really pay attention when Elon Musk attacks the person responsible for trade. What they do see is a level of insecurity, a level of instability, and frankly, this time the stock market matters because so many Americans are using the stock market as the barometer of what Americans think and what the world thinks. And if it continues to crater, that in itself will be the biggest hurdle for this administration to overcome.
Frank Luntz, thank you so much for your perspective, as always.